Good afternoon, Sir Philip. My name is Agusto from class 11 IPA. At this time, I will do the task of reading and speaking. History of archery in Olympic. Archery is one of the oldest arts still practiced. This history will not only take you through a journey on the evolution of archery, but also through the history of mankind. Evidence of ancient archery has been found throughout the world. The earliest evidence of archery dates to the late Paleolithic period, around 10,000 before Christ, when the Egyptians and neighboring Nubian cultures used bows and arrows archery for the purposes of hunting and warfare. In China, archery dates back to the Shang dynasty 1766 until 1027 before Christ. A war chariot of that time carried a three-man team, driver, lancer, and archer. During the ensuing Zhou dynasty 1027 until 256 before Christ, nobles at court attended sport archery tournaments that were accompanied by music and interspersed with elegant salutations. Development in Asia. When the Chinese introduced archery to Japan in the 6th century, it had an overriding influence on leather etiquette and techniques. One of Japan's martial arts was originally known as Jujutsu, or then art of the bow, now known as Kyudo or way of the bow. Modern Kyudo is practiced primarily as a method of physical, moral, and spiritual development. After certain ritual movements, the archer moves to the shooting line and shoots from a distance of 28 meters at a target 36 centimeters in diameter set in a bank of sand that is rough over. The bow used is 2.21 meters long and made of laminated strips of bamboo and wood. In the Greco-Roman period, the bow was more used for personal exploits or hunting rather than warfare. Archers are frequently seen on pottery at the time. The Parthians were horsemen who developed the skill of swiveling around in the saddle and could shoot backwards at full gallop. Middle Eastern superiority in archery equipment and technique continued for centuries, with bows like those of the Assyrians and Parthians. Attila the Hun and his Mongols conquered much of Europe and Asia, and Turkish archers still backed the Crusaders. The Asian and Turkish bows were highly efficient, and the record shot with a composite Turkish flight bow was close to 900 yards, far beyond the capability an English U-bow. Mythology. The popularity of archery is reflected in the many ballads and folklore, such as for instance Robin Hood, to name the most famous one. References to archery are also frequently made in Greek mythology, in which the story told of Odysseus in Book 21 of the Odyssey is a well-known example. Odysseus is mentioned as being immensely skilled in the art of archery. Penelope, thinking that her husband will never come back after 20 years of absence, forms a resolution to determine Which of her suitors shall receive her hand by shooting with Odysseus' bow? Odysseus, back from the Trojan War and disguised as a shepherd, is the only one able to draw his own bow and shoot an arrow through 12 rings. This way he can prove to his wife who he is and defeat all of those who had taken advantage for his long absence. English literature also honors the longbow for famous victories in the battles of Crecy, Agincourt, and Poitiers. The first known organized competitions in archery was held at Finsbury, England in 1583 and had 3,000 participants. By the time of the 30 Years' War 1618 to 1648, it was clear that due to the introduction of gunpowder, the bow as a weapon belonged in the past. Since then, archery has developed as a recreational and competitive sport. Archery, one of the oldest sports still practiced, is closely linked to the development of civilization. As a cultural advance, it was comparable to the discovery of fire and the invention of the wheel. Archery in battle. In 1200 before Christ, the Hittites and Assyrians shot their bows from chariots, becoming fearsome opponents in battle. They made their bows with tendon, horn, and wood and also developed a new recurve shape. This made their bows shorter and more powerful, making them easier to handle for an archer on horseback. A noble history. Archery was the favorite sport of the Egyptian pharaohs during the 18th dynasty, 1567 to 1320 before Christ. Many centuries later, some of the earliest recorded archery tournaments took place during the Zhou dynasty, 1027 to 256 before Christ. In China, such events were attended by Chinese nobility. Much later English writers honored the longbow for famous contributions to their country's victories in the Battle of Crecy, Agincourt, and Poitiers. Most decorated archer. Archery first appeared in the Olympic Games in 1900, was contested again in 1904, 1908, and 1920, then again after an absence of 52 years from 1972 to the present. The most decorated archer in Olympic history is Hubert van Innes of Belgium, who competed in 1900 and 1920, winning 6 gold and 3 silver medals. Thank you for watching my video. God bless you.